Hello, this is Dr. Dave Maslach, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about reciprocity, sharing economy proofreading platform that I am trying to build. And what I'm going to actually talk about is the importance of showing your raw product to somebody or something before you feel comfortable with it. And this is part of my Monday Write series. So every Monday, what I normally do in this series, I have a writer that writes up different tips and tricks and stuff like that to help you. So I'm spending some money to make sure that you're getting some good information and the stuff that they find really interesting. But I wanted to switch it up a little bit differently today because I'm here in my son's room. You could see what I'm doing in my son's room is I'm actually painting the room. You could see everything's all taped up right now, and you could see everything's kind of unfinished at this moment, right? You could see all of this different stuff that is very much unfinished. It's a work in progress, and it's something I didn't really necessarily want to show everybody that there is this work in progress. A couple of things you might notice with what I'm doing at this moment, or you can see that I wanted to tell you two particular lessons with why I actually wanted to show you this raw product. The first one is that you have to feel, when you give somebody something, you have to feel you're going to feel really uneasy and nervous and anxious when you give somebody your product that you've been working on. You can see here, there is a lot of unfinished business in this room, and that's why it's a little bit echoey. I do apologize for that. But you can see I do some interesting things that not everybody agrees with, right? So if you're a really good painter, you're probably not going to see over here, you're probably not going to put up tape, for example. You're going to be a really good person with not putting up tape. But I wanted to show you, I do put up tape, and this is a great lesson with your own writing, is that at any stage you might rely on different crutches and different things like that a lot of people might not, people that are more skilled, maybe people that are less skilled might not rely on that particular thing, right? So they might not use a lot of spell check because they write quickly and they're efficiently. When I write, it's kind of a mess. It's a real mess. I kind of blah, put stuff out, and I find it really helpful to get peer feedback on that kind of stuff, and it truly is really helpful to get peer feedback on that stuff. So what I'm trying to get at is it doesn't necessarily, so when you show your product, your raw product to somebody, you're going to feel really nervous and anxious, and it's not necessarily the particular point that you are showing the raw product that's important. It's because that you are being kind of authentic and showing people how you actually get things done, and that makes people kind of uneasy and nervous and kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do. But guess what? Everybody has those things. It doesn't matter who you are and what you're about. We all have those particular things. There's always unfinished business, particularly when you're writing, when you're editing somebody else's work. There's always going to be somebody that's better at editing than you or better than writing than you. So you just kind of have to be accepting of that and know that everybody goes through this of showing them something, some unfinished business, and getting over that anxiety, that fear of just getting out there and being exposed. This is, for me, it was really difficult to me put out YouTube videos. You can see in my older YouTube videos, you can watch them. I was really, really nervous with showing this stuff, and I just was really anxious. I didn't want to talk that much about putting things up, putting stuff up there. And that was totally normal. That was just me being, that was just my fear of getting out there and being raw and authentic with you. So the other thing that I think is really important with the particular lesson of learning from painting here, and why I wanted to show you this, is that everything is a work in progress and it takes a long time. This was over a weekend, and I admit I'm really not that good of a painter, but it's over the weekend. And because it's over the weekend, you can see that I staged it. I had to go through different stages, right? So I had to tape. First of all, I taped things up. I painted once, and then I let it dry, and then I painted it again. And we have two different tones in this room, so I had to do that multiple times. And then I want to paint the ceiling up there. You can see I actually still have paint up there. That's how authentic I'm being. You can see on my hands too. But that that fact that you go through all of these stages, that's kind of really what like the writing process is like, right? You as a writer has to go through these different stages and know that's completely normal, that you first of all kind of go through and create this really raw product. So when you write, particularly in academics, for example, or if you're writing a novel or something like that, you go through this, you have this really raw product, you have this idea and you're like, this is amazing, right? There's actually a social psychologist, Karl Weick, that talks about, he has a saying that's quite well known in our field, and it's, how do I know what I think until I see what I say? So how do I know what I think until I see what I say? So it's not until you actually write something down. So you have this great idea. It's not until you actually write it down and you make sense of it, then you're like, whew, that's a little bit rough. That's not all that good. I wish I could do better. And then you take this really rough thing. So you have this great idea, you dump it on the page, and then it's really rough, and then you have to go through and redo it, and get, eventually you'll reach a point that it becomes so good in your own head. You're like, ooh, everything's fantastic. You have to get somebody else's feedback along the way and get that feedback from somebody so they can kind of crush it and say, well, yeesh, you should probably work on something else, or you should, rejig this particular way, get some sort of feedback and all that kind of stuff. And that's really what I'm trying to do with this particular project with reciprocity. I'm trying to actually build this in and make sure that everybody knows, or that this is part of the process, and we have some sort of mechanism that we can do this pretty easily and effectively. Right, so you can check out reciprocity if you want. The E is spelled with a 3. I was modeling it after how to make people nice, and as well as sort of modeling it after the way that we do things in academia, and we try to actually get feedback. And the reason why we get feedback from others is that there's a lot of reciprocity that goes on. So it's kind of like this modeling exercise that I did, and I think it's cool. It works. So you could check it out. And that's all I really wanted to say today about the whole writing process. Those two particular things. Being authentic and showing your sort of roughness and all the edges, that's important to the process. That's how you improve, that's how you develop. And getting over that fear of allowing people to see your rough product, that is totally fine. The other thing to know is that there is this, over time, you do develop and you get better, and there's a lot of stages along the way, and your writing will develop and get better. And so you have to capitalize on that process. You have to realize that is just part of the writing process, right? So Karl Weick mentioned, again, how do I know what I say until I see how do I see what I say until I know what I write? Something along those lines. I had it right the first time. But anyways, thank you so much. Appreciate everything that you do. If you follow along and you watch these videos, I really like that you do, and you have subscribed. You're amazing. You're so cool. Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoy this, and I really am looking forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.